After escaping from the hands of Dark, teleports the entire squad back to Clax's hideout to plan the next steps and figure out how they are going to save Red Talon, while trusting in Bison's vision that the only way to defeat Dark is from within. But both Night Eyes and Teleport are hesitant to just sit back and leave their fellow hero in the hands of the enemy. But they do trust in Bison's vision, so until then, all they can do is train until the appointed time comes. Elsewhere in the Dark Uranium mine, news of a rogue group of miners was reported through the command chain of Dark, who sent the agent Abyssal to put a stop to them. While Red Talon and Code were being transported to the Dark facility after being captured, a newscast reported that the Golden American heroes were successful in the battle against a terrorist attack from the group known as the Son of Bacchus, freeing Senator Jake Johnson from their grasp. Cole then asks Red Talon why he allowed himself to be captured when they were winning their fight against Dark, which Red Talon tells him that it's because he was obeying the orders from his master's brother, Bison, whose vision showed that the only way they'll be able to defeat Dark is from within. But the chance of seeing that vision come to pass for sure will be challenged, as Dr. Novocaine implanted them with a chip while they were sedated, which has the ability to detonate at the command of Novocaine or Burning Skull, which also can send an electric shock to Code and Red Talon if Novocaine wants. But once they got into their cells, Code was already able to rewire both of their chips with his ability to manipulate technology. Red Talon brought up the flash drive, literally bringing it up as he swallowed it at the end of issue 3, with the information from the Hawkborough Dark facility so that Code could use it to crack the information on Dark's system, where they learned of the uranium base that existed under the now destroyed facility, which Red Talon assumed was probably the reason why Dark had his parents killed when he was younger, as they were environmentalists who most likely would have put a stop to Dark's plan. Code, using his powers, also was able to buy them time to escape by setting all the cameras to loop so the guards don't think that they have left their cells. But while heading to the rooftop entrance, in one of the prison cells they spot someone familiar that Code couldn't believe Dark actually was holding captive, his sister Sheena, who he thought was killed by Dark years ago. Code insists that he won't leave his sister behind and tells Red Talon to escape without him. Dark won't kill him because his powers will serve too valuable for them. But if Red Talon is able to escape and come back with backup, they might have an even better chance this time around going against Dark. And Red Talon was a bit indifferent on the plan, second guessing the thought of leaving Code behind. But while he was still processing everything, Senator Johnson, riding in a chopper, offered to give him a lift. And at first, Talon questioned what the senator was even doing at the Dark facility, and wondered if he could even trust him. But the thought of being captured again outweighed the idea that Senator Johnson could be up to something nefarious, so he accepted the lift. And Senator Johnson revealed that he knew all about Tom and his run-in with Dark, who killed his parents when he was younger, stating that they saw when he was captured by Burning Skull, so they figured they'll go and rescue him and invite him to be part of the superhero team that he has been putting together, the Golden American Heroes. Yup, the same team he saw while in the transport convoy. Senator Johnson took Tom to the DIA, which is the base of the GAH, that is my acronym for them going forward, where he showed Red Talon a suit they had already made for him, which was a massive upgrade over his current suit. This suit was made of a special steel and titanium alloy that was able to withstand knives, gunshots, and even bazookas. Red Talon immediately got it tested by the Golden Bullet, who was GAH's weapon specialist. That also created a pair of tomahawks that Red Talon can throw and recall back to himself. After getting his new suit, Tom trained with GAH for several weeks, even learning that his suit was given the capabilities to fly through mechanical wings, until he was assigned his first mission with the GAH team to take down a sect of the Sons of Bacchus, which is the most powerful Red Talon ever felt before. Victory of defeating the terrorist group, over the next 3 months, Tom was branded as a national hero, getting his own comic book series, movie, and even an action figure created about him. But with each passing day, he couldn't help but think about his friends. However, he made a deal with the senator that when he joined GAH, they will face off against Dark eventually and even free his friends. Meanwhile, in Earth's atmosphere, Golden Eagle, the brother of Raven Wolf, Bear Claw, and Bison, whom had been trapped in outer space by the powers of the darkest sorcerers of the sons of Saturn, was finally able to break free of their spell after many years, crying out to the creator of the universe to give him the strength to free himself from the prison so he can put a stop to Dark's reign of terror. Soaring back down to Earth, declaring that his three brothers need him as they must restore the order of Talon, who at the same time were in the middle of the spying session training for the day that Red Talon shall need them to bring down Dark, when the facility was suddenly swept with an unnatural cloud of darkness obscuring all light, which was not because of a power outage, but it was caused by the Dark Agent Abyssal as they ambushed them with Agent Scope, Bone Star, Firma, and Tidal Surge, all who were given the order to bring them in at any means necessary, including playing dirty. Bison used his abilities to mark the Dark Agents in a white energy aura so the crowd can at least have a fighting chance against them in the dark, with everyone holding their own against the agents until Golden Eagle bursts into the facility, removing all of Abyssal's darkness with his pure light, urging Teleport to get everyone out of the facility before the other Dark Reinforcement agents arrive. At the DIA base, Red Talon approaches Senator Johnson to ask him when he'll be able to go against Dark, as well as help him track down his missing friends, stating that they all will make fine additions to the team. The senator shows him that he will be going after Dark soon, but as for his friends, when he had a team check the secret subway base 3 months ago, there was no one to be found, stating that most likely they were captured by Dark or probably something even worse might have happened. And Tom instantly feels guilty, believing that he failed his friends and declaring that he must go out and find them, until he got an unexpected call from none other than Code, who was locked away by Dark and being used to create weapons and tech for them. But while working for them, he was able to dig up some info on the DIA and Senator Johnson's GAH, discovering that all was not exactly how it seemed, letting Tom know of a secret meeting they were having that Tom was not invited to, which Tom thanks him for the intel and uses it to sneak into the meeting between Senator Johnson and the other members of the team, who tells them that he's plotting to send them on a mission against some low-level Dark agents next week to satisfy Red Talon's longing to take down Dark and hide the fact that he has not only been working for Dark all along, but he was also being led by Burning Skull himself, the man who killed his parents when he was younger. And Tom is furious at the fact that he allowed himself to be tricked all along to be a puppet of Dark and the Burning Skull, vowing that he will have his vengeance, but knowing that if he attacks now, he will be outnumbered. So he'll play along until the time is right, which may not be too far along, as Miyoki appears to him in a vision by Bison once again. And with that, let's put the Red Talon issue 4 on our Christian fiction judgment scale. For the story direction and concept written by Kenneth Keller with credits to Amon Jacobs, it gets a 2.75 out of 5 on our scale. I like the concepts they were going for with this issue of escaping the facility and Red Talon being tricked into joining a fake superhero team funded and controlled by Dark, and introduction of Miyoki, Bearclaw, and Bison's brother. But the execution of all those things in one book left no breathing room for any of it. Like, I actually rearranged the entire book and sequences of events so it made sense for the script of the video. Because since there was so much going on, it jumped between them by page that in putting together the script, it would have been a really confusing transition for me to do. Which I honestly must say, compared to what they set up at the end of issue 3, this issue was a really confusing transition. Which I did express at the end of issue 3 that I wasn't too fond of the execution and the direction they went for of At the end of issue 3, with the urgency they placed on the fight, made it feel really impactful that the team needs to put a stop to Dark. And just when they had the leader of Dark in their hands, Bison gets a vision showing that they must lose. So Red Talon surrenders and gets captured, which this issue directly alludes to, with Code asking, why did Red Talon lose the fight when he clearly was winning? But not only did this issue basically go away with the sense of urgency that was placed on taking down Dark in the prior issue, everyone has been training for 3 months with Red Talon running around as a superhero, getting a movie deal and a comic book deal and action figures in that period. It sort of wrecked all suspense and excitement that was built up in issue 3 for me personally. I don't know if I'm reading too deep into it with my breakdowns that I do, and this was actually the intended direction they were going for, but it just feels like a miss for me and makes Red Talon look even more lame than he did at the end of issue 3. Like, in my opinion, you can't have the hero schooling your villain in some of the best panel work of the series thus far, only to be told that he must lose. So he loses to then get tricked by the same villain into working with that villain, not because he was brainwashed, but it was because of a series of choices that every step of the way we saw him thinking this is a bad idea, only to cast that thought away. Like, don't stop thinking, sir. Think harder on what you're thinking about. I personally stand by my take on issue 3 that having Red Talon getting beaten by Burning Skull with the panel work and how he was schooling him, it just for me it just didn't work. Especially, it would have been better if Burning Skull had knocked him out with some cheap tactic during the fight and took his body and brainwashed him or something in this issue. I think something like that would have gone much harder, because Tom was basically asking all the right questions and just accepted all the wrong answers in this issue. It would have been even more compelling if at the beginning where Teleport and Night Eyes questioned Bison, they decided to go out on their own and stupidly got caught again. Then everyone chilling for 3 months going through a training arc. The prior issue set up some really great stakes and dread and character development for the series that just felt squandered in this issue. Like, it's funny to think about that in some of our favorite shows, despite the story probably spanning and like multiple issues or an entire book or movie or even series, everything could happened in a span of a week or a few days, or even in the span of 24 hours, or in some cases like Batman Arkham Knight, Batman packed up all of Gotham in one night. Sometimes a time jump is warranted, but with the event set up in the prior issues or throughout the story, just to go and drop a 3-month time gap of everyone just big chilling just doesn't make any sense to me. It wrecks the direction and the dread and the excitement that the story was building up in issues 2 and 3. My dialogue score for this issue falls around 3 out of 5. I wasn't too fond of the lettering in all instances and felt like some of it was stifling the art in some cases, but the character interactions were cool between the characters, just like it was in the previous issues, despite how much I wanted to tap Tom over the head a couple of times. Artwork by Brian Dawson for pages 1 to 7 and Osvaldo Ferreira for the rest of the book was pretty solid and gets a 4 to 5 on our scale. Really like Osvaldo's suit design, especially the redesign for Talon suit that was created for him by GAH. When it comes to theological basis, which refers to how well Christian principles are adapted in a piece of fictional work, we did get a call out to the creator of the universe, but that wasn't enough to really spike this section, so it shall be omitted. But it seems like issue 5 might be the one to activate this section for the Red Talon series. So lastly, against the volume of gospel-infused comics we've covered, it gets a 3 out of 5. I am a champion for this series and do believe it is worth the read, but this issue just didn't hit the mark for me personally. So overall, Red Talon issue 4 gets a 3.25 out of 5 from the Xplanations. You can get your copy of this issue over on the Starcross Comics site, and let me know via the comments down below if you agree with me or if you have a different take than I do. If you enjoyed the video, then why not consider leaving a like and subscribing for more reviews and coverage of comics made by professing believers. If you enjoyed the video to the point you want to check out another one on the channel, then be sure to click the card at the top right hand corner of your screen to check out our other Red Talon reviews, or click the card to check out why I consider Red Talon to be the most improved comic that we reviewed last year.